What's
This
that, Judy?
conference will now be recorded.
I have everybody's name on the screen. So,
Okay.
hi.
Okay, well, we'll introduce ourselves quickly. I'll call the meeting to order. It's 5:30 today on November 9th of 21. Calling to order the Economic and Community Development Commission meeting. We're going to start with introductions because Judy Clary, is that how you say your last name?
Yes.
Our newly minted secretary. Welcome, Judy. I'm Jim Benson. I work with Gallagher in Shelton, Connecticut, insurance brokerage. I've been on this commission for probably 5 years now, maybe 4 or 5 years, and my pleasure to welcome you to the meeting.
Thank you.
So why don't we, Randy, why don't you go next?
Judy, my name is Randy Vidal. I am a commercial industrial real estate broker. And I think I've been on this committee going on 10 years.
Wow,
Great, thanks. Frank?
great.
Hi, Judy. My name is Frank Bavacqua. My brother and I own a business on Honey Spot Road. We deal spray painting. Been on this commission probably about three or 4 years now.
Great. And Jen? Anyone here?
Yeah, I
Jen?
think your mic's off.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. I'm Jen Sheldon, and I work for Laurel Road, which is part of Key Bank, and I have been on this committee for a year and a half, about now. So I'm a newbie, I guess.
Okay, great. And obviously, Mary and Karen, you all know each other?
Yes.
Matt, thank you.
Judy has volunteered and helped us when we were serving our hot cocoa and coffee from the Economic Development Department at the Pumpkin Festival. Judy helped us out for the day.
Oh, great. Well, Judy, thank you for assisting here and welcome. We are missing a few members. I think Mark Calzone. Let's see who's missing. Mark and Colin and Brian Oliver. I guess they're all missing.
And Dan Onofrio.
And Dan, yeah. So we'll start the meeting with a vote on accepting the minutes from last month. So can I ask for a motion to accept the minutes?
Sure, I'll make that motion to accept the minutes from the October 12th meeting.
Okay, Frank, is there a second?
I'll second.
Who seconded? Jen?
Jennifer.
Yep.
Okay, great. Any discussion on that or? All right, so that I'll assume everyone's in favor. There's no opposition unless I'm hearing any right now. I don't. So the meetings are passed, the minutes are passed and accepted. So we'll go straight to the agenda. Mary, you want to give an update on economic development?
Sure. Okay, so the Army Engine site, the mayor and I have been assisting the developers with the projects that must be completed prior to the closing, which means one of them is the tripartite. That is where they have to work out the water, change the fire suppression. The outfall 8 remediation, flood control, sewers, utilities. We're working with them to, work through the process as quickly as possible because, we hope to close December, January. Contract plating. Go ahead.
I did have some questions during the BRBC meeting about that. So the closing is. What is the closing going to be? It's going to be from the Army Engine plant to the developers?
Mm-hmm. Yes, the Army Engine. Pardon?
We know who the developers are going to be, right?
Well, the developers are already in place because they were chosen by the Army back 7 years ago as a preferred developer. So they've been waiting in the wings for a very long time for the Army to come to a decision and to get all their paperwork together, put the record of decision, which was signed, and the record of decision then puts a time frame on the time between when they're starting their negotiations to really close the property and 6 months after that. So the closing and the record of decision was signed in May. And as I was stating, there's some projects that have to be completed prior to the closing. So the mayor and I are putting the developers in touch with, the different staff within the town that they need to be in touch with to be able to complete some of these projects. The outfall 8 remediation is the Army Corps. That's not us, but we will do everything we can to help move that along and then the sewers and the utilities, et cetera, that have to be put in place.
Right, Randy?
Mary, as it relates to that. So you're talking about some of the infrastructure, water lines, sewer lines, et cetera. Now, the Army Engine Plant facility handled all of different lane coming down to your property. I mean, I'm trying to get my arms around who's responsible for segregating the utilities you mentioned, if indeed that's the situation that has to take place.
Well, the tripartite, that's where the water suppression system that goes all the way across the street to the airport. So we need to change that. And the people that are in charge of doing that are the developer has to have it done with the airport. And with the assistance of the town in any way we can to be able to move it along so it can be, because right now the water suppression doesn't make sense. What is it? Begins with A. Karen, it's not Volo anymore. Atlantic Aviation.
I think you're right.
They have the fire suppression system from the Army engine site. So that's the kind of stuff that we need to have updated and settled prior to the closing.
Because all of that stormwater from Sniffin Lane went into the Army Engine Plant property, and they have a water filtration system. So that all has to be taken care of, obviously. And whose responsibility is to get it done? You said the developer, the Army is not going to do
Well,
that?
the Army has to do outfall 8. The town of Bridgeport and the developer have to do the tripartite. And we are just working with them on the future on flood control, sewer. They don't have to be settled prior to the closing, utilities, but it's all issues that very much the town of Stratford has to work with them on.
Okay, thank you.
And Mary, when it closes, will that be, let's just assume it is going to happen in December or January. I guess that would be good, right? That's optimistic. But if it happens, would we be prepared as a commission to sort of market that transaction and start generating interest in the property? Or is that going to be the developers?
That's a developer and they're already doing that. They are already talking to tenants
Okay.
aggressively.
So right when they close, the developer can start construction.
Demolition.
So and their plan is to demolish all of the buildings?
Yeah, because it's too difficult to have some buildings be at the level they're at now. If anything new, any new construction needs to be above sea level. So they need to be at higher level. So they'll use the demolished buildings as part of the cap, but then they'll need a lot more to cover it. And then, when they did talk about retaining the buildings, some of them have been in beautiful shape. Let's face it, the Army's been keeping them in very good condition, but to bring them up to speed, they would not be able to spend more than 50% of the value of the building because it's flood. So that would really curtail the amount of improvements they could make to the buildings. So yeah, they will be demolishing them, and they will be, capping and bringing it to the appropriate above sea level, and then developing.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions on that? Okay, so Center School, we are the next step are for the two developers who we asked to resubmit their financial stack we got an appraisal, and to have them, based on the appraisal, look at what their 10-year pilot might be for the underground parking, and they will be presenting to the town council. So it's really up to the town council now as to when they will be presenting to as to when the developers will be presenting to them. So as soon as we know that, we'll let you know. Any
So
questions
who's
there?
gonna select the developer?
There's two.
But who's going to be selecting which developer wins the?
Town council. The town council. They will make that final decision.
Thank you.
And then contract plating, we are going to be putting it on the market as we speak, and looking at the next probably 5 months on the market or so, because and then we would like to be able to have a developer to present to the town council before the first half of the year next year. And we are offering an option of the ball field as part of the development. So anyone interested in the property would be able to have the option of just developing the 10 plus acres of the contract plating, or the 24 acres, knowing that the ball field would be developed after the contract plating, because that would take a little more time it's part of the super fund. So it would take a little more time for the cleanup there. We've had a lot of new businesses in town, some fun ones. I don't know if anybody's been to the Yolk in Paradise Green, but their egg sandwiches are phenomenal. And there always seems to be a line there whenever you go. You can
Mary?
text them. Yes?
What was the name of the new company?
Tasty Yolk.
Thank you.
And then there's Frenchie's Coffee Bar that's in the center in one of Vinnie Chase's buildings. And then Fish Bar de Milan in Station House I just stopped in today and saw them, and I think they're shooting to open by the end of the week. It looks like they had, all their liquor ready to put behind the bar, and, they were in a very frenzied state, I would say, trying to get
I saw something on social media today. I believe it's the 13th.
Okay.
Which
Okay. So they, and so we'll do a ribbon cutting probably in a couple weeks. They'll want to do a soft opening and get themselves, most restaurants want to do that before they do a ribbon cutting.
And that's the old dog, right? The old dog?
The old dog, yeah. And I'm really looking forward to having that room that you can use the space next door, because it's a really great room. We've done our commission and meetings, so round tables in the past in that room, and it's just a good size, and yeah, so I'm excited to have that open to us and available to us again. I tried to get a look at the menu, but
did they renovate the interior? Did they change the layout?
They took all the dark wood and painted it white, and they have like a Mediterranean Sea blue on the walls, and they have crystal chandeliers and some cool lighting over the bar. It's a really nice, it's a nice atmosphere. So they haven't done a lot in terms of, I'm not going to say redecorating, but needing permits to move things. They've kept everything pretty much as it was, but just did kind of, new painting and freshening up.
Okay.
So, and then we've done some quite a few ribbon cuttings. We have a new Broadway on Barnum. It's a dance studio up where the Salerno's building is. Honey Bear, which is a daycare, was recognized for its state of the art, breastfeeding facilities that they've created for not only their staff, but the moms that come in and leave their babies there. And the, Karen, was it the state, it was the state health department, right, that came and
It
recognized
was the
them.
commissioner of the, it was the Breastfeeding Alliance. It's a statewide alliance. A representative from the state health department and the commissioner of early childhood, Beth Bai.
Because, believe it or not, Honey Bear is one of 4 daycares recognized in the state for this, and 3 are located in Stratford, if you could believe it or not, which is really amazing. So we've got some pretty impressive daycare operators here in Stratford. We also celebrated the opening of the Century 21 office. What a huge office. Karen and I went. It was like they had, champagne flowing and food and
Staff.
and actually, I'm going to say they must have like a dozen agents working out of that office, right? They've got a lot of, so things are busy. So we will be scheduling dates for Julian Realty, who also opened in Paradise Green a while ago. But he needed to go through his parent company to be able to allow him to have the date. Rotary Ski, which just moved to 555 Lordship Boulevard, which is a fantastic location for them because they have so many customers, both north and south, and it's right off I-95 for them. I think, Karen, were we looking to 11/22? Did we firm that up? I didn't see that on the calendar,
You know
but
what? I have to firm that up with Mark in the morning, but yes, that's what we're
okay.
looking at.
I think that's where so we wanted to do it earlier, but Mark had plans. But we just felt like with it being a ski shop, it would be nice if we could do the grand opening before the holiday, before Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Ash Creek Enterprises, our own Mark Calzone, moved to 999 Orinoco Lane, and there was a business that moved in. What was the name of the business, Karen, that moved into his location?
I don't even know the name. It's another IT business from Milford.
Another IT business thing. Okay. And then for our upcoming Celebrate events, we have the menorah lighting on 11/28. Oh no, that's been moved. I believe that's been moved to later on that week, but something will go out on that. So it's a December date now, I believe. And the tree lighting will be 12/7. And unfortunately, the tree lighting falls on the same evening as the BRBC annual dinner. But we had already put everything in place, and we just found out. I don't know how I just saw it on the calendar last week, Jim. Was it in place any soon?
I only found out about that dinner at the board meeting Friday morning at 8
Yeah,
o'clock.
that's what I thought. I saw it like literally the end of last week or Monday. So we were disappointed that we can't attend what will be an event that will be live for the first time in a couple years. As I mentioned, go ahead.
Which one can you not attend?
The BRBC annual meeting, because the holiday lighting is out of our office. It's to celebrate that. So unfortunately, we have to be at that. The Pumpkin Festival was a huge success. Karen Doyle just did such a great job. I mean, I'm sure, I don't think any of you were there, but there were thousands of people there. It was just amazing.
Wow, that's
And
great.
then Discover Strange Stratford, which thanks to the commission that, kind of endorsed it for the town, that was a resounding success. Karen Spertini actually went on the tour. We had 2 busloads over 2 days, so over 200 people, right, Karen, participated.
All were sold out. Yes.
Yeah, the whole thing sold out in a matter of a week and a half or 2 weeks, not even.
Was it
So
interesting?
It was very interesting. And you know what, Jim, even beyond the information that Marianne Vlahek and Dave Wright were sharing and the Stratford High students, it gave people like my 83-year-old mom an opportunity to see parts of the town that she has never seen. For instance, she's never been on the lighthouse property. Everybody needs to be on the lighthouse property.
Hmm.
And he
it's
had a couple of the
breathtaking. It's
museums at
beautiful view.
Booth. So it was really a chance for, so the event benefits the Friends of Booth, the Perry House, and the Historical Society. So everybody had a chance to see all of those organizations as well, to visit their sites. Really well done.
Nice.
And what was nice was, it contributed to Friends of Booth. It just brought in money for Perry House. So that was really great that so we're going to have kind of a wrap up meeting with Marianne in the next few weeks and just talk about what we can improve upon and, how we'd like to see it done annually because it was just really a resounding success.
Great.
So we have also put together a Stratford community calendar that was in the works and then COVID hit. So we're partnering with Sterling House. And this is an online resource for all town sponsored events so that people have one place to go to look and see, what's happening in town because there's so many things going on. While we were handing out our coffee and hot cocoa at the Pumpkin Festival, the Sterling House had put together little postcards that we were able to hand out to families to tell them this is where you go to find the community calendar and see what's happening in town. So we're really excited that this is up and running again. It's something we've been wanting to do for a while. And we will be again preparing for the annual initiative for Shop Small Stratford, which takes place on Saturday, November 27th. So Karen Doyle is already reaching out to our local businesses in town to work with them and help promote it. And then finally, I don't know if you were all able to see our latest economic development video. If you have not, we can certainly, it's on our website and it's been downloaded. I know Karen Doyle's not here to tell us how many hits it's had.
I believe
Do you
as
know?
of last week, Mayor, I had to look it up. I think maybe as of Thursday, 34,000
Wow, that's
hits.
great.
So a lot of people have been able to view that. It's been boosted.
Now, let me ask you that video, because I saw one today. I happened to see it on social media, and I don't think there was any talking. It was just music and then showing like all the different scenes in Stratford. That's not this video, correct?
No, where did you see it?
I think Sean Kennedy posted it. Yeah.
Oh,
And I saw it on YouTube, something to do, he said something like, "This is my town." And it was probably a 3-minute video, and it went all the way. It showed the lighthouse and the waterfront, and then it went to the library, showed the town hall, showed Booth Park. Um, I don't know. I didn't know who sponsored the video, but it was
yeah, it
pretty
wasn't
cool.
us.
I do
And
remember,
also,
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead, Karen.
several months ago, something appeared on social media that wasn't generated by our office. I think, Jim, it was a lot of drone footage. Was this a lot of drone footage? I'm wondering if it might be the same
No,
one.
it wasn't. I think I know the one you're talking about. It was different.
Oh, okay.
It didn't seem to be drone footage. It seemed to be taken from the ground.
So
That's wonderful.
you will always know ours because we start them the same,
Right.
the postcard. So it's kind of our identification. So you know that those are the ones that you guys are, have sponsored.
Can we get a copy of that video, the last one, sent to the commission?
Absolutely.
Is it
That'd be,
accessible on the town website now?
Yeah.
It's on our YouTube channel, Randy.
What's that?
Okay. But we'll send it to the members, the link
we talked
tomorrow.
about last month, Mary, and I don't know if there's been any further discussion about developing some either video or something that talked about all the new businesses that have come to Stratford in the last year or two. I don't know if there's any way to create something, but just it was a very brief idea that if there's money left in our budget to, a lot of people don't realize how many new businesses have come into Stratford. Like, how can we, even if it's a one-page ad that we can then post on social media or something and put all the
Well,
business.
it would definitely wouldn't be just a one-page ad. But
Like,
yeah, Karen mentioned it to me, but we could try to figure out something because, we've had so many, we've just had so many companies that are that not only new businesses, but that are expanding. So besides the ones that we've already talked about, Nuova Pasta is again expanding. So this isn't old news, this is new. Auto restoration, our friend Brian, he's expanded. FedEx is expanding tremendously, moving into 495 Lordship Boulevard. Stratton Industries is expanding and trying everything in their power to take up as much property as possible. They have even reached out to DOT to see if they can take some of the area that's coming off 95 on Surf Avenue that they're not using so they could expand their property because they're growing by leaps and bounds. Sunbelt Rentals is growing. They're getting another piece of property as well as Westport Precision. So these are and I just got another email from someone, I think it was yesterday. So these are all businesses that, along with the other ones that are just growing by leaps and bounds and want to stay in Stratford. And as Randy knows, they're trying to expand on their own property. There's just such limited inventory for them. So that's good news that they all want to stay in Stratford and they're all growing and doing well. It's just finding them a spot.
Right. I just, it seems like we have attracted a lot of growth and new business, and we should figure out a way to tout that and market it. So I know some of these videos do that, but it was just a thought that I think we threw around it during the last meeting.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we can do something where I don't know, sometimes you have videos where you just put multiple pictures in one, like with the different businesses. I don't know, because they say you shouldn't make them any longer than a minute, but a creative way to be able to show them all within that minute, so you don't
You
lose
may
people.
want to consider engaging the marketing fellow from Two Roads, get some thoughts from him.
Colin.
Or Colin Kennedy.
Yeah.
Colin's always helpful on that kind of stuff. We could talk to him about it a little bit. Yeah.
I don't remember his name, but yeah,
I think,
reach out to him, get some, maybe got a plethora of ideas that are workable.
I mean, if
Right.
you start by compiling a list just to see what it looks like, what are the business growth, new business, in the last 24 months in Stratford?
Oh my God. It's
But that's my point. And then people sometimes say, well, what's going on in Stratford, right? And then, like, off the top of your head, how do you might come up with 4 or 5 when there really are over 100, probably.
right. Right. Yeah, and that whole area, I mean, we're very lucky that, a lot of the source of our business is manufacturing, and just, I mean, we we're very strong there. So we're not, so during COVID, it wasn't like we had a whole bunch of retail that, manufacturing thrived and grew during COVID.
Right.
So these are businesses that are still growing, and they're struggling trying to find employees. So we're still trying to tackle that. Jim, question for you. At the BRBC meeting, at one of the Stratford Chamber meetings, Dan had asked me to join like a committee that was going to talk about tackling, the shortage of employees for these businesses. And then I haven't heard anything. I didn't know if they addressed that at all at the meeting you were at on Monday.
About some staffing shortages, but not specifically that wasn't the full board meeting, it was the executive meeting, and I don't believe we touched on that.
Because we feel like we're doing what we can with our job opportunities website and keeping, businesses, letting them advertise on there. But we just wish that there was more that we could do to solve the problem for the businesses. And, I was hoping that this larger group would be able to maybe tackle the issue, but I haven't heard anything yet. So,
Okay. Well, keep us in the loop if you're on
yeah.
it. That'd be nice.
So that's it for now.
Okay, so that was on my agenda. That was the update of economic development, but you touched on a few other things that are also on the agenda, so I just won't go to those. But we need to talk about the commercial realtors breakfast.
So we're planning that now, and we're looking at a breakfast. Then Karen was actually looking at possibly two roads there, that room they have there. But we're kind of looking at maybe do we want a smaller atmosphere? We were talking to Randy about, or I was talking to Randy before everybody got on about making it more of a round table to give the realtors an opportunity to talk to us about what they'd like to see, to showcase a couple of videos. We have a new, is it Map Link or Map? Is it Map Link?
I think it's Map Links, Mary.
Map
Yes.
Link, which is an interactive. It's really great. If Randy wants to know about 495 Lordship Boulevard and he has an interested buyer, I send him a link, or he can go on the website and everything you'd want to know about the site is there. You can key down what's allowed in the building, the flood zone. I mean, it is really just fantastic. And we're the only town in Connecticut that has it. So this is a really super, I think, new feature that we have that can help the realtors that we're hoping to be able to advertise to them. And we hope that, everyone will come. So as soon as we have the date, we'll let you know. It'll be probably right after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Mary,
What month? Go ahead, Randy. I'm
It's
sorry.
December, probably the beginning of December, Jim.
how current is your list of commercial realtors?
Relatively current, Randy. I believe you had given us an updated list, maybe in the spring, late spring.
Okay.
Because we needed it when we were going out for RFP for the RDA for our commercial brokers. Do you think that's still an accurate, or do you think there's something newer?
We had some geographic parameters, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I totally forgot about that. So if
Yeah, you
got,
helped us out.
it's pretty accurate.
Okay.
Is there, while we're sort of, discussing it, because it's really not that far away. I mean, it's already November 9th or whatever we
Right.
are. It's only 3 or 4 weeks away. Are you thinking first or second week of December? Is that what you're?
Yeah, that's what we're thinking. So we're going to look and see where we, a venue. I really would love to have it in that small room over at Bar de Milan, the old dog, but it's just not a good room for putting anything on a screen. But it's just a nice atmosphere for a roundtable type of discussion. So yeah, so maybe we'll try to shoot for like that maybe Thursday of the first week in December if we can, and we'll keep you updated as soon as we have
I
a
think
date.
we'll be on the first week in December because you're not gonna, it's gonna affect your attendance.
Right.
Year-end stuff going on. And obviously you're pushing, you're right in the middle of the two holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Do you think we should wait till January, Randy?
absolutely.
Okay.
Oh,
I think you're
Okay,
gonna,
because why push it? We were just trying to do it this year, but we could do it in mid-January
I
and
think,
then have more time to advertise.
yes, you'll experience a more successful attendance.
Okay.
and then
Okay.
here, if we do it at Fish Bar, they'll have that much time to, work out their kinks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Thanks,
won't,
Randy.
I won't be here then, but I'm sure, like Frank, you can step in, like I think you did that once before for me. I won't be here in
Sure.
January.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Um, yeah, and we can even, yeah, we'll fill you in afterwards, Jim, and let you know how it went.
Okay. Okay, and can you give us an update on the zone, what happened at the zoning commission after our last,
So the zoning commission meeting is tomorrow night.
what's tomorrow night? Okay.
It's tomorrow night, and
Okay.
it is live. And just so everyone knows, there's no longer a mask mandate. So we technically could have had this meeting in person, but we just found out yesterday. So it was we couldn't change it. So we don't if you choose to wear a mask, you may, but you don't have to. So it is live. If Jim, I would love it if you could present. I will work with you tomorrow. I'll send you our notes. And if anybody else from zoning can come to support, we're first on the agenda at 7 p.m.
I actually
And
didn't realize it was tomorrow. I have dinner plans tomorrow night.
okay, all right.
Is that a problem?
I wonder if we can have another representative because it is from the commission. I mean, it's being,
It's at the town hall at 7 o'clock.
yeah, unfortunately. But we are first on the agenda. But yeah, we don't realize how lucky we are with our 5:30 meetings.
Yeah, I know, that's true, right? Um,
I don't want to,
This is,
yeah.
this is regarding that text amendment.
yeah,
Mhm. Are you available, Frank? Because I can send you all my notes that Jim and I,
I believe so. Just checking the calendar. Wednesday. Yes. Yes.
okay, so we'll touch base in the morning.
Okay.
And just so you know, because it was passed with a positive response by the planning commission, we just need a three votes in favor. If it had not been positively suggested by the planning, then we would need a 4-1.
there
So,
was some discussion when we presented it to planning about a noise monitor device or something. I don't know if that'll come up tomorrow night, that whether or not
well,
we'd need to buy one to make sure that the noise
Well,
level.
there's already one in place. Health department has it. And right now, under the noise ordinance, the health department is responsible. So they
Right.
have one in place.
I think we got past that during our discussion, but that was, I think they wanted maybe the police to have one, and I don't know what those cost.
Well, the thing is, they're about $500, and if we could get them for the police if the police were responsible right now, but they're not under the current noise ordinance. But that would not be a deterrent if that were the direction that the town were going to go.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of said, if that were an issue, we'd bring it back to the commission and, we can discuss it and see if we could fund something like that. But,
No, you wouldn't have to. The town could do it. They're not expensive.
okay.
So if someone is going to have a complaint, it's going to be at 10:30 at night. The health department, are they going to be available to come out to even meter
Well, there
the
are
noise?
times where they do, but we'll, we can talk about that. I mean, we can talk about that in greater length.
Okay.
Because, I mean, they do work weekends. Health department does work weekends. They do have people, I mean, they have to work on when there's festivals with food trucks, et cetera. So,
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there any other discussion on budget review, Mary, at this point?
yes, Karen, did you send it to them or are we just
We didn't
going
send
over
it
it
to
with
them
them?
there. Yeah, no,
Okay.
we can review
Okay.
it.
So I don't know if Karen, you wanna discuss it with them?
Sure. I believe it was maybe the July meeting where the commission made the motion to fund the Westfield video, the most recent Westfield video, assuming it was going to be up to $5,000. And actually, the bill came in, the invoice is for $5,437.50. So that's, we're wondering if we can get approval to pay that additional amount to cover the total fee.
What was the original quote?
Well, Randy, we based on our work with Westfield in the past, we felt that it was going to be between 3,000 and 5,000. So it's come up a little bit beyond the 5,000. So we would need approval for that additional $437.50.
Okay.
Is that cost, is it out of line in what we expected then? I mean, is it
You know
something?
what the difference is, Jim? In the past, we have paid their production day they've charged us $3,500 for the production day. This one is $4,500, and that's because it's considered a separate project. It's kind of outside of the contract that we already had in place.
So I think that if we were going to, looking forward, if we know that we want to do a few things like, showcase the new businesses that came into town, et cetera, I think that it would be well worth, because now these guys know us and they know the town, they work well, is getting something in place that could be more of a package maybe. Right, Karen?
Yes, and then go back to the $3,500 production
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they should have carte blanche on, if we just ask them to do a video, we should establish the cost and know what we're paying for. So this last video, that $5,400 is for the last one that you're going to send to us?
Yes.
Okay. And that's the one that got 34,000 plus views?
Yeah.
Okay. So it apparently is getting a bang for its buck still, these videos?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you get feedback from people in the community that they see the videos and that, they're effective?
I don't know if I don't know that I've necessarily had any feedback. Have you, Karen?
Um,
I mean, when we talk about them, we get positive feedback, but it's not like
right.
we hear from people the day of and say, oh, love this or anything.
And I'm not necessarily sure people realize it's coming out of.
What's
What,
that?
Randy?
I wouldn't be surprised if the community as a whole or a large portion is not even aware of these videos.
Or that it comes from us.
That's my belief, that they probably don't know that it comes from us.
That's the big thing, is just how to, brainstorm to make sure it's getting out there and getting played and getting viewed. I mean, 34,000 is a good number of views.
Yeah,
But, how else do we get that message out?
right.
The Stratford website, right? Those videos are all on our website.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so,
And they're
and we should,
timeless too. We can continue to push them out.
right.
Well, so where are we then on the budget? So this expense of 5,400, did we already vote on 3,500, or we need to vote on the entire expense of this right now?
We had already voted on the 5,000, Jim. So it would be the
Before.
437.
Okay. And then with that cost, how much remaining in our budget do we have this year?
And then so we started with 25,000. And we have that expense and then just a couple of secretarial fees. So we're barely into it.
Okay.
Yeah, because that was the last budget, right, Karen? Was the 5,000, the 5,000 was this year's budget. So we have about 19,000 and change left.
Right.
Are
And
there
then,
any other questions before we take that to a vote? So can we have a motion just to approve the 437 or something dollars over the 5,000? Randy, making a motion to approve that. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thanks, Frank.
Or Jen?
Any discussion? Okay, then all in favor? I say aye, aye, aye. Can't see Jen.
Aye.
I'm assuming.
I got her hand up.
I heard her say aye. Okay, so that means everyone on the call is in favor, so there's no opposition. So that passed. Okay, maybe we can come up to now with in the next a budget for the breakfast and what we can expect for the next 6 months, since we're almost halfway done with the year now. And we
I
still
know, can you believe it?
yeah, crazy. We did have a budget expense for the Stratford Strange Tour, right? Didn't we do something there?
No, the mayor's charity paid for the buses. What you did was you endorsed it so that it could be on the town insurance policy. And I know Gallagher spoke with the bus company to make sure there was enough insurance covered on, whatever insurance umbrella they had.
Yeah.
So that didn't cost the commission anything.
Okay, good. Okay. I don't believe that there are any other items. Is there any other new business anyone wants to bring up at this time? Okay, Frank, thanks for stepping in for me tomorrow evening. I think it's going to be
Sure.
quick. We did it at the, what was it, about a 15-minute discussion when we did it at the planning. And it has their support, so that's why it's going forward to the zoning, right?
Good.
They voted in support to have it move on, so we just need 3 votes in the affirmative. So good luck.
Okay, we'll keep you posted.
Yep. All right. Any other old business or new business? The next meeting will be, same week in December. I
Oh,
guess-
do we usually have a December meeting? I don't think we do.
Oh, we
Jen.
don't? We may not.
We don't, I don't think we have anything we'll have to vote on.
Okay. Okay.
So, because we can vote on the budget for everyone's approving that you're hosting the Realtors breakfast. So
Right.
it's,
Okay.
and anything we pay would be that day
December. Yeah, I think you're right. We didn't typically,
Last December.
did not.
no. I think that's probably a good idea just to meet in January.
Okay. All
And I
right.
think that's January, maybe 11th.
Okay,
I'll-
okay, good. All
Yeah,
right,
January 11th.
that means we may not see everyone for the holidays, so I guess I'll wish everyone a happy holiday.
Oh my gosh.
And a healthy one.
First happy holiday of the year.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. All right, everyone.